Peace and reconciliation may now be far from the crisis-ridden opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, following a fresh twist in the lingering internal battle for the soul of the party. The growing conflict between the factions loyal to Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde and former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has intensified the crisis within the People's Democratic Party. In a statement released on Sunday, Wike announced his withdrawal from the reconciliation efforts, blaming Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde and Enugu State Governor Peter Mba for the crisis within the PDP. To add to their troubles, the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja was sealed on Monday by officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, what the acting national chairman, Ambassador Ilia Damagum, has described as a deliberate and dangerous attempt by the All Progressives Congress-led federal government to undermine Nigeria's democracy. The action, allegedly taken over unpaid ground rent, came amid internal party deliberations aimed at addressing the deepening crisis within the PDP and the lingering controversy surrounding the influence of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, a key player in the party's internal power struggles, now serving in a ruling APC-led administration. Well, joining us on the show to discuss this latest twist in the internal conflict within the party is Gabriel Suswam, former governor of Benue State. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program. Always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you.
Well, Senator Suswam, the last time you were here, you predicted that the PDP was in the intensive care unit and that the proposed NEC meeting, which was supposed to hold today, will make or mar the future of the PDP. Now, since that prediction, we have seen what has happened. Quarrel over the position of the National Secretary, the sealing off of the Wadata Plaza by the FCTA, Federal Capital Territory Authority, and also Minister Godfather Nyesom Wike saying that he's going to resile out of whatever agreements he may have reached because of bad faith on the part of Governor Seyi Makinde and Governor Bala Mohammed. So is the patient, what is the condition of the patient in the ICU as we speak? Since you, you said the
Abati, Abati, thank you very much. I think PDP is still in the ICU. Desperate attempts have been made by a certain group of persons to rescue it. And you know that when a patient is in the ICU, that means that the ailment is very serious. As you can witness, the activities that have taken place since we last spoke, if you have, I keep emphasizing this without sounding like a broken record. I talked about leadership. Even at the family level, if we don't have good leadership, that family is doomed. What has happened to PDP basically is that of leadership, lack of capacity on the part of the leadership of the party. How can people, they have held sacred meeting, the FCT minister mentioned it. He said there was a meeting in Lagos, he was invited, they had agreement in Lagos. There was another meeting in Abuja, in the house of a former Senate president, where those agreements were consolidated. If you are sincere to the people, and when we were called, former governors and current governors, about 2 weeks ago to a meeting, none of this was before us. Nobody knew that there were sacred meetings where agreement was reached with the FCT minister. If you engage somebody in an agreement, you invite somebody and you engage him, it is only honorable that you honor that agreement. If you're not interested, why do that in the first place? So I don't blame the FCT minister for what he said. It's dishonorable for me to call you and agree on something with you, Segun Abati, at my level, and then I reneged without reference to you. So I don't blame him. It is the lack of capacity of the leadership. And the leadership has not been straight with party followers. We are major stakeholders. If we're called to a meeting by the current governors under the leadership of the PDP Governors Forum Chairman, Bala Mohammed, and that we were not aware that they had had 2 meetings with Nyesom Wike and had some agreement with him. It means that we're hoodwinked. And I think that is not right. If people at this level we engage in those kind of activities, it's very unfortunate. And so I don't blame Wike for what he's doing. There was no need in the first place for them to engage in agreement with him at the expense of other people. Other stakeholders were not consulted in those agreements. How can you go and engage in such agreement knowing that that agreement that you will not likely fulfill? There was no need for that. So I think that the leadership in PDP is the biggest problem that we have. I keep saying this, and it's any person I stand to be corrected.
Okay, sir. Well, in that agreement, that purported agreement by the Minister of the FCT, he's saying some of the conditions for the agreement included, some of the terms, of the agreement included the National Secretary being Ayawu, rescinding or retracting all form of legal cases. That includes the one on state of emergency and anything concerning River State. Now, do you think that that conversation, it took place in a forum where you were not present? Do you think if the party comes together that this is an agreement that the party should consider with the minister so that peace can reign? Is this a fair price to pay for peace?
That is the crux of the matter. Because if you are trying to address an issue that has become very intractable, such as this one, more consultation should be made, more people, more stakeholders should be involved. You can't have a group of persons who on their own will just go and engage in agreement at the expense of other people who are also interested parties. And so this kind of arrangement would have properly been made if they were serious and sincere about it. Other people would have been consulted. We are meeting with the FCT minister, and so these are the issues on the table. What and what should we do? Every person would have been involved. What the FCT minister said in his letter was very strange to a lot of us who were invited to a meeting. Even the FCT minister put up a brief presence there. He was invited by the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum in a meeting that went about 2 weeks ago. And none of this was mentioned in the meeting to all of us. I think that is very unfair.
Is it a good agreement, though? Do you think PDP should now come together and reconvene and agree to the terms of this agreement as a party?
You see that there are issues. The Southeast as a bloc have met a couple of times and decided that they want a new secretary of the party, have even nominated that person and forwarded a letter to the headquarters of PDP. That is Southwest as a bloc. So if we are going to engage in agreement that we deviate from what the Southeast have done, they would have been involved, or some of the stakeholders there would have been involved. I don't think they were involved for them to take that decision because quite frankly, it's confusing to me. I don't think the Southeast as a bloc will agree to such an agreement if they were involved. They wouldn't agree. There are other issues of cases in River State and all of that. The whole thing is muddled up. I'm not in a position to comment on that. But if stakeholders in River State also in such an agreement, there are a lot of stakeholders in River State who are interested in these cases. So why don't you involve them? If you sit on your own and agree on something that you know that majority of the stakeholders in River State will not agree to, you know that it won't work. You know that you are not being sincere. So the lack of sincerity in the whole process is what has led us to where we are today.
Okay, real quickly. At first, a lot of people will say it's a fact that that agreement was like another suicide mission. Because the agreement that Minister Wike alleges that the proposal is made to them, the likes of the Seyi Makindes of this world, is to tie the hands of the other people. The agreement goes one way. Oh, put my own person, Ironwood there, secretary of the party. Whatever the Southeast says with Okoye doesn't count. Second agreement, a state of emergency. The PDP governors went to court. He said, pull it out, pull the case out. So is it practical? And the question is, when will the PDP deal with the Wike issue? Because like I said the other day, it's a fact that Wike is more powerful than the party. You can disprove my fact, but for me, that's the fact out there. The man has held the party by the jugular, and he's doing whatever he pleases with the party, and he's been doing it for over 2 years, going on 3 years now, and nobody can do anything. Let me use in local parlance. It's as if other members are just looking like Lukuluku Bantashi. Somebody just put in my ear, if Wike is the Jagaban of your party, all of you are just looking like Lukuluku Bantashi.
Like Lukman.
Lukuluku Bantashi. Lukman.
Rufai,
yes, sir.
I've said this when I was commenting on the question raised by Abati, that at my level and this stage in life, if I sit down with you on the table and we agree on something, and you say something that I know that will not go down well with the people who are with me, there's no way that I will promise you that that was a done deal. You met somebody twice. They met in Lagos and they met in Abuja. And I agree with this gentleman that what he has requested will be possible. And so when he came into the meeting of the former governors, which I was present, and the current governors, he came in believing that that was going to be conclusive. But a lot of us raised issues in that meeting because we're not privy to this so-called agreement. Now, Wike, what you said, has continued to hold the party by the jugular. I don't think so, because of this kind of arrangement.
No, would you respect, Governor, sir?
No, I'm coming.
That's
no,
a
listen
fact.
to me. I'm saying that in a context. Listen to the Rufai, I'm saying it in a context. It is because the leadership of the party have not been up to their responsibility. If the leadership of the party has been up to their responsibility, these issues would have been settled. I say so. When I was running for the leadership
Wike is the leadership of the party.
I was very clear as to...
Wike is, I put it to you, sir, Wike is the leadership of the party.
Both the National Working Committee headed by the acting chairman and also the PDP Governors Forum, Chairman Governors Forum, Governor Bala, because all of us had looked at him, looked towards him to provide that leadership, to be sincere to us, to make it clear to us what was going on. Nobody knows until Wike came up with that letter. None of us knew that they had held 2 meetings and had agreed with him on certain terms, which he knew the majority of the PDP people would not agree with. And so the leadership of the party, both at the level of the governors and at the National Working Committee, have not been straight. And so we'll continue to have this problem until they come out straight, which I believe at this stage, a lot of people are highly disenchanted and disgruntled. And that is why you see people gravitating towards anything that comes, because politicians move like water. If we block this side, they must move the other side. So if we block them in PDP, they must find a way to move to any other place. Some are moving to APC, some are moving to other political parties, some are moving into coalition. They must move. And so you don't think that there are no alternatives. In a democracy, that is why it's democracy, because there are alternatives. People must move. And so with what is up, I've listened to Governor of Akwa Ibom. Why I don't agree with a lot of things he said, he said something that made a lot of sense. He said he doesn't want to be in a party where, after he wins election, on technical basis, they will say the person who signs your form is not supposed to sign your form. And so on that basis, among the reasons that he gave, he's leaving. And I agree with him totally. I agree with him because that has happened before. And that is the reason why a lot of people are no longer showing the interest that the ordinary would have shown in PDP. who is now, there's NEC meeting. Iyanwu has written a letter unilaterally on his own, powers he doesn't have, to postpone that NEC. It's because of the confusion. It's because the party cannot stand and take a decision.
Okay.
How can somebody who is a personnel of the party, on his own unilaterally, will sit down and say that he has cancelled a meeting that, that have been put in place, been planning for months?
Okay, Senator.
It is because of lack of leadership.
Okay.
Where there's leadership, that will not happen.
Okay, Senator. Politicians are moving here and there because of their own personal interest. And they have to remain in politics because they have no other significant means of living.
Serious.
But let me ask you, that's the truth. That's the empirical fact.
Yes.
As Rufai will put it. Anyway, let me ask you, now that the headquarters of PDP, Wadata Plaza, has been sealed off to make it impossible for BOT to meet, to make it impossible for National Caucus to meet there, to make it impossible for NEC meeting to hold there. Do you say it's partisan and, politically motivated, or you just say, well, it's Wike doing his job as FCT minister? And then you talked about leadership. Who are these leaders in PDP that are causing the problems? I think you should name them. Is it Atiku? Is it Saraki? Is it Wike? Is it?
No, I have.
No, mention them. Mention them personally.
So.
Just mention them. List their names.
But you want to put me against the wall. But I'll answer you. At my age and my stage, I won't run away from such issues. The PDP acting national chairman Damagu is one of those people. The PDP Governors Forum chairman is one of the problems because they have not been straight with us. So I'm not shying away from that. I'm a member of PDP. I've sponsored PDP. I've been in this party since 1998. I've participated in all activities of the party. I've contested 7 elections under PDP. I won 5. I lost 2. So there's no way I'm going to shy away with what is happening. Damagu is the biggest problem that we have in the party. Bala, as the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, who would have guided him, is not doing his job. And that is why we are here. Because as far as PDP is concerned, Bala is the president. Because governors are the one who are sponsoring the party now. They are providing the money for the running of the party. And Bala is the leader of that group. And so he's the leader of the party, so to speak. And so if he's not guiding the National Working Committee properly, then the buck stops at his table, then he's one of the biggest problems that we have. It is not Atiku, it's not Wike. If Bala and Damagu have done what they should do, there's no way that we'll be having this kind of shenanigans in the party. We won't have.
Okay, the sealing off of the secretariat. Do you think this is part of the underhand tactics?
Well, that is bad politics. That is very bad politics. If I was in the opposition party, I would not do that because it is becoming obvious that people are being muscled. And even when you want to muscle people, there are subtle ways of doing it. When PDP, at the head days, when Obasanjo, as president, wanted to take over the AD governors, he didn't go to close down the office of the AD. He simply walked around, make sure that he gets them to believe in what he was doing, and he took them out. So I think they should be smarter than what they are doing. It's becoming too obvious that they are desperate. They have no need to be desperate. In the first place, every person is endorsing the government. Virtually all the PDP governors are defecting to the party. So this level of desperation is bad politics. I think that aspect is bad politics. It's not just, there are a lot of people who are owing ground rent in Abuja here. Their house has not been sealed. Why do you go and seal PDP when PDP is at the verge of holding a meeting there? That is bad politics. And I don't think that the government should degenerate to that level of desperation. There's no need for that. That is very bad politics.
Okay, sir. Well, it looks like you may need to call in all the specialist doctors you can find for this patient who is struggling in ICU. We continue to wish you all the best.